Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful night. Let me introduce myself. My name is Minnie Alexander. And for all of you, the few people, which I know it's going to grow, that have subscribed to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. For the people who have bought my book, oh, yes, I'm an author. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My book is called A White Man's Horror, and I will explain more about my book and what it's about. This evening, which is almost morning, the topic tonight is should Black women abandon um, Black men? Should they abandon them? Let me go to my comments. Hey, Corey. Hi. Thank you for tuning in. Again, the topic is should Black women abandon Black men? And uh, I went to go visit my mother, and I had a long drive back home, about 8 hours. And before I got on the road, this past few days, I've been just kind of, kind of surfing YouTube and seeing who's out there and everything. I'm kind of new to YouTube, and I ran across some videos or not videos, people's pages that were bashing Black men for bashing Black women. It's like, let me bash you because you bashed me, right? Um, and I've tried to stay very neutral, even though I wrote a book called A White Man's Whore. And the book is basically talking about interracial dating. And by no means do I hate white men or anything like that. I just share my experience with them, and I try to give Black women, both sides. Like a lot of the people's channels I've been going to talk about interracial dating, specifically Black women dating white men. I was just reading the comments. You know, uh, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. So the the YouTube pages I've been going to and listening to the videos, they only really have there's only one side. And I feel like my book is, gives another side, meaning as a Black woman and meeting younger Black women or just Black women who have never dated outside of their race, specifically with white men, I would want them to be educated on both sides, which hearing the beautiful stories of the long marriages and the relationship that is a harmony, and how they just are the best couple. That's great. I applaud any couple of any color that can come together, two people that probably have two different backgrounds, two different upbringings, and have love and make it work and have a healthy relationship. Yes, that's what we all want, no matter what color we are. That's what we want. We want a partner that we look at and it's like, this, my partner is my best friend. Yes. But now, on the other side, being a Black woman and have had interracial relationships since I was 16. And again, I'm not exclusive. I have had relationships with Black men too. Um, it's I have came across the other side, the side that we don't talk about, and the side that a, I'm not going to say a lot, but there are white men out there that want the Black experience, and they'll even make you their girlfriend, and maybe even in some cases make you their wife, and they want that. To them, it's like it just gets them aroused to think that they have a Black woman. And it's kind of some sick kind of possession, like you're like we're an item, you know. Corey said, whatever happened to love just because. Absolutely. That's what I said a few moments ago. Like, honey, if two people, doesn't matter if you're brown, green, white, or whatever. If you guys can make love, yes. Yes, love conquers. Love over hate. Yes, it's beautiful. But again, I'm talking about um, just letting people see both sides and then letting them make their decision. So again, there are white men out here that they just want the experience, and it's not about um, seeing this woman for who she is. I mean, I heard a story about a black woman who married a white man, and in their courting stage, everything was wonderful. And again, yes, this is one isolated story compared to other stories that black women will vouch that it's the best relationship they've ever been in, and great. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear about healthy relationships. But this one particular woman, she married a white man, and right after their marriage, he started calling her the N word and started treating her like a servant. Um, and yes, people can say, "Oh, a white man could marry a white woman and treat her the same way." Yeah, he could, but I mean, the N word wouldn't hurt so bad. She'd probably look at him like he was crazy. But I feel that before a black woman makes that decision, and let me go back, make the decision to abandon black men and go only white men. I think she needs to be informed on, if she's going to make that decision, which white man to choose. Wait, I'm reading my comments. This is Darkest Midnight book. We are perfect together. So be it. Yeah, perfect together. Yeah, okay, yeah. Perfect. Yeah, so be it. But oh gosh, you're getting me off topic, Corey. But letting me make me lose my train of thought. So yeah, because we were in a world where we still have a lot of racial tension and and we do have racism. I don't think we should just close our eyes to that and say, oh, racism is over, kumbaya. No, 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 no. We still have that. So in me writing my book, A White Man's Whore, as I was writing my book, I'm thinking about other black women. And in all honesty, I was thinking about white men too. I have a chapter in there, a very small chapter, that I explain to white men why I wrote my book. For the ones that like to date black women, understand some of the things that we might go through in choosing to date or to marry you. And hopefully it'll make them more sensitive, and not just take it for granted that I'm a man and you're a woman. The world sometimes doesn't view it that way. They do view, I'm a black woman and you're a white man. So I would like for black women to have that both sides, not just the fairy tale side. And so let me go back on topic. So the topic is, should black women abandon black men? Now, black men, and I'm speaking as a black woman, and I don't represent every black woman, I just represent myself. Black men, not all of them. If I say all, that'd be super ignorant. I don't see myself as being ignorant. So I'll say some black men have really just abandoned us, talk about us, um, as if we're trash, black women, you know. For some reason, I attract the black men who don't like black women, which is very strange. I've been on dates where a black man has straight out told me, I usually don't date black women. And I'm thinking in my head, why the hell are you on a date with me? Um, which none of those turned into a second date. But then I like to ask questions, so I start picking their brain on why they don't like us, and it's usually the same thing. our attitudes and all of that stuff, and we stress them out, and we're not as loyal, and all kind of crazy stuff that black men say about us. And it hurts. It hurts to hear someone, especially a black man, that I had someone call me. Okay, so going back, I just because black men bash us, I am not one of these black women that could bash them. You know, I can't do this thing an eye for an eye when it comes to this particular topic. Um, I'm fully aware, of I actually made a TikTok video. If you guys are interested, um, go to I have a link in the bio. You can go to my TikTok where I actually, or it might be on YouTube too, where I talk about how I do feel like as a black woman that black men abandon us. They don't protect us. The agenda is not to lift the black woman up. And at times I do feel like, um, you know, they don't really care. But me as a black woman, I can't see myself abandoning black men. I can't. Um, and the ones that do, I feel their pain. I use the analogy, especially of a black woman who has dated more than her fair share of black men and have had the same experience, which is not the best experiences. I get it. Like, how many times are you going to hold your hand over the fire and get burned before you realize something needs to change? I think that some of the women, the black women that do decide to exclusively date white men, I feel that that might be the case, where they have gotten burnt over and over by black men and they want something different. So they choose to abandon black men because they feel like they have been abandoned. And in all reality, it's a possibility. I mean, I can't talk for every black woman, but I will talk about something personal. Um, I mean, I'm almost 40 years old, so I have dated quite a few men in my days, and I've dated quite a few black men and others. And in dating black men, I've been hurt, and I'm a single mom also, and I think one of the biggest hurts, not up there with the hurt being hurt by a black man, was the situation with my daughter's father. He is an attorney. So he's a black man, he's an attorney. You don't run across many black male attorneys. And we were together for a while. And we were engaged, but I did not marry him because I didn't feel like I really loved him. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to walk down the aisle with someone, even though he's an attorney, making attorney money. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to marry someone if I knew it wasn't right. So I was giving it time, but we never grew to that point in our relationship where we actually got married. So when we parted ways, and we did go to the court system, um, because I've known him for a while, and I knew it wasn't going to be so easy for him to get financial support for our child. To make a long story short, this man, who's been an attorney for, oh gosh, many, many years, and also has other degrees and does stuff in real estate, he basically tricked the court to give me a full $75 a month. And this is not the first time I've heard of this happening and from a Black man that has helped us produce children and that make nice amount of money, pay $75, the lowest amount you can pay. To me, that cut me. That really cut me, but not cut me enough where I could abandon Black men. And we all as Black women, we have stories, you know. Yeah. Corey said, wait, what? Yeah, yeah. I'm in the trenches by myself when it comes to taking care of my daughter financially, even though her dad has been a lawyer for 20 years. Yeah. There's no concept in his mind that his child needs, needs help. And the messed up thing about it, I think about when I go to Walmart. I spend over $75 one trip on groceries to Walmart, and this man can't give me, enough money to have his daughter even live close to what she lives when she goes over his house. But it did make me feel some kind of way. And some people can say, oh, that's that individual man. So I'm just sharing some parts of me or stories in my life where I have been hurt by Black men. you know um but abandoning them, I don't. I know there's good Black men out there. I know there's good Black men out there. There's good white men out there too. There is good Black men out there. I feel kind of like in our culture we have some twisted ways that we raise young Black men that aren't um, that do not benefit them when they become men. I feel like, and I don't even know if I don't even know who to put the blame on. Mothers, or on their mothers or their fathers, or the society we live in a European based society. I mean, I don't really know. I know some people that I know would probably say, it's white supremacy and it's racism and all that stuff. Um, but in observing, and again, I haven't, since I'm a Black woman, I've been able to observe Black men more than anybody else because I'm Black and a lot of people around me are Black. And I kind of feel like Black men in the household, I mean, you can have different structures. You can have single mother structure, which we already know that's hard to for a single Black mother to really raise a young man to turn into a man. I mean, it has been done, but it's hard without a good role model. And you have the two-parent homes. But what I've noticed that a lot of Black boys, not all, some Black boys, are raised to look at Black women, not to put us on a pedestal, but to somewhat sexualize us. Like in our community, if a young Black man has multiple girlfriends, nobody really pulls him aside and says, man, what are you doing? Why do you have all these girlfriends? Like, you know, choose one, treat her right, spend your money on her, um, grow with her. We don't have people like that. We have older Black men saying, yeah, man, oh, she's cute. Let me see the other one. Oh, she cute too. Oh, this is one with the big booty, things of that sort. And so you have these young Black boys who have these not so good role models teaching them how to sexualize us and how to not um really cherish us from a young age, so when they grow up it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I have close guy friends that share with me their stories of when they lose their virginity. And again, I don't know how it is for young white boys because I don't know, but I know it was disturbing to hear adult black men tell me the stories of how they lost their virginity, and a lot of the stories was older black men taking these 12, 13, or 14-year-old boys and putting them in a sexual situation with a young lady or a lady in their late teens, a young lady in their late teens, and forcing this young black boy to have his first sexual experience, not by choice, but kind of by pushing him into it. And then after he did it, praise him. Didn't even know the girl. Didn't even build a relationship or a friendship or anything. So as they grow up to be men, what do you expect? A lot of young black men have no role models. And I think that's what's going on in our community. I mean, we can blame white supremacy, we can blame racism, we can blame all of that. But when are people going to really step up? Black men who have their head on straight step up and check each other, check young men, all that stuff. I mean, I don't know if there's enough of black men who have their head on straight to even to check the younger men. You know, I mean, my daughter, I don't know if there's going to be any good candidates for her. So now you have people who hear me say that say, "Oh, well, that's why, we're saying date exclusive, only date white men." Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Only date white men. That will solve the problem. I mean, even if I was an advocate for black women only dating white men, even if I was that advocate, I can't abandon my people like that when I see there's so much work to be done. And I know people say that's not abandoning your people just by going and exclusively dating a white man. I mean, I feel like if I exclusively date a white man, then I am turning hate towards black men. And my dad passed about 3 years ago, and I couldn't. My dad knew I dated different races. I mean, I brought I think a few white boys home over the past few years or not few years, but when I was growing up. So he knew, and he treated them just like he treated the young black boys with respect, as long as they were treating me good. But having a black father, I can't imagine him if he was alive looking at me and hearing me say, "Screw black men. I only date white men." Looking at his eyes as a black man from the South who has stories on top of stories of white men terrorizing him, and he couldn't do anything about it except turn his head and go home. I can't, you know. But for the um the black women who do choose to do that, to choose to abandon black men and strictly date white men, that's their choice. And I know there is some pro black people out there that would bash them and call them all kind of bed wenches and belly warmers and all kind of stuff, and um which I don't agree with. uh those women that choose to do that, I can't do that with them, because I know, again, the analogy is that I said earlier: if you keep on putting your hand over the flame and it gets burnt, and you keep on getting burnt by black men, or there's not enough black men out here to marry, and you want to get married, you want a home, you want a partner, and you're giving those reasons, you just think the others on the other side, it's less pain. I can't bash you for that. I won't. That's your decision. But remember, there's always, there's two sides of a coin. And if you want to hear my story and other Black women's stories about dating white men, you can get my book, A White Man's Whore, and read it with an open mind. And just because those things happen to those women does not mean it'll happen to you, but just be cautious. My book is just about be cautious. And hopefully you will have a different story. And you will have a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage, wherever it turns out to be. But just be cautious. So, be I was reading Corey's comments. Can I ask you a question, Corey, if you're still listening? Do you date Black women? I'm just curious. So okay, if he answers that, let me keep going. So the top. Okay, he answered yes. Um, one more question, or maybe a few more. Do you exclusively just date Black women? And the young Black girl in your elementary school, do you think she had an influence in you dating Black women? Oh, you said you never. Okay. Okay. And are you open to dating Black women? Let's see. So, um, let me give him a chance to answer that. If he answers it, I'd be poking and prying at personal things. Um, so again, I'm on the fence, and as a Black woman who feels like a lot of Black women do not get that full support from Black men. Not all Black men. There's, like I said, there's some good Black men out there that will take a bullet for a Black woman. But as Black women, what we feel is to love by my preference. Okay, all right. Well, Corey, maybe off of the YouTube live, we can see if maybe we could have you on one of my panels in the future, pick your brain and stuff. But so yeah. So again, my book, White Man's Whore. I believe it before a Black woman makes that decision. If it's hard for her to make, because some Black women, they might not be hard for them to make that decision if they want to date white men exclusively, or not even exclusively, just date white men. Just you know, there was a story in my book of this one Black woman who actually married two white men. Two. I mean, she does not date Black men at all. She exclusively dates white men. And she was explaining to me how her first husband was so racist. Oh, I don't want to spoil it for you, Corey. But I just say this story when I won't talk about my book anymore. I don't want to spoil it and have any spoilers. So she talked about how she dated two white men, and her first husband was very racist, and all the manipulation that he did to basically break her down as a Black woman. Then her second husband, she said that she didn't feel like he was racist at all. It was just it didn't work out because just two people came together that didn't work out. So you have one woman who've had two different experiences with white men. Um, so yeah, and there's more stories in there. I'm almost an author. Okay, well, if you're writing a book and want to self-publish, I can help you with that and the steps that I took to self-publish. I'm reading the comments the Corey is writing. So again, I am really in the gray area with abandoning black men. I just I can't do that. I can't do that. Just for the love of my father, even though I have uh, stories of not being treated so fair by black men, and and again, not to give black men excuses of not treating us the best, but most black people, and I love asking this question to black people. Most black people have never had an example of what a healthy relationship is. So you have a black woman who possibly have never had a example growing up of what a healthy relationship is, and you have a black man who has never had an example of what a healthy relationship is. And you put them together and you expect them to have a healthy relationship when they don't even know where to start. So I think I had a phone call come in. So I think just talking about the relationships between a black woman and a black man, I think it's fair and it should be looked at as they both come into a relationship as they both, if they don't have an example of a healthy relationship. I mean, just because people are were raised in a two-parent home does not mean it was healthy. It doesn't mean that they were taught what to do with conflict in a relationship, or what to do, or how to communicate, or how to build trust, and how to be honest. So I think it's fair when two black people come together in a relationship, they should deal with each other with uh, what's that term called, with kitty gloves? I think that's what people say. Very basically, very lightly, and be what I'm trying to say. Understand they're both coming in with possibly some ignorance, and that's kind of a harsh word. They're coming in with not being equipped, and they should learn together about how to build a healthy relationship. Now, in my TikTok videos and other videos, um, I truly believe that a healthy relationship across the board, that doesn't include color of any sort, of any kind of people. It it begins with trust, honesty, and communication. And I think in an interracial relationship, in a black on black relationship, that needs to be the foundation. Trust, communication, and honesty. I believe even if two people are coming into a relationship and had trauma in their childhood, never had an example of what a healthy relationship should be, if they can just grab onto those three things and with all their might do that and practice it, and not just expect the other person to do it, but really do it from their heart. Be honest to with their partner. Try to communicate. Communication is one of the hardest things, because a lot of us are people pleasers, and we don't want to make our partner upset, so we don't communicate what we need or what we want or what we're thinking. And then sometimes when we do, the other person on the other side can't accept it or can't digest it, and so we stop communicating. And that's so important in a relationship, to find out the best way to communicate. Like, I have my daughter. I tell my daughter, sometimes if there's something hard for her to express, to write it down. And that can work in relationships too. Write it down. So when it comes to black on black relationships, we have to remember, coming into these relationships, that these two people are coming in somewhat broken. And a lot of black men weren't taught how to be men. And if a Black woman thinks that's too big of a job to do, to try to come together with a Black man and build that communication, trust, and honesty, and she feels that going to a white man is more beneficial to her, I can't tell her, I can't bash her for that or tell her not to do that. You know, the goal is to, when it comes to relationships, is to find who meshes with you the best, who is your partner, who's your friend, your best friend. You know, I mean, and I will say that conversations can betray your heart. Oh, the book is about adventures of an interracial romance. Okay, cool. Very cool. That is very interesting. Yeah, we have to see. I want to see hear more about your book and see kind of if I can get a little sneak peek of where the book is, like, you know, what the book is about besides just, you know, interracial romance. But sounds interesting. Um sounds interesting. So again, Black women that want to make that abandon Black men because they've been hurt or whatever reasons they want to do that for, everybody is entitled to make their own decision. But I don't feel like just because they bash us, we should bash them, you know. But, you know, I don't make decisions for everyone. But again, as Black women, be cautious of what white partner you choose to lay next to you. And that's even with Black men too. Be careful, because you can wake up and be penniless and he helped you mess up your credit and left you with the baby and all kind of stuff. And a white man could do it also. But I was going to tell a story. I forgot what story I was going to tell. Oh, dang it. I forgot. Dang it. I think it was a personal story. Dang. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I think it's just getting late. And I'm again, I just came from like I think a 9 hour drive. But anyway, so me personally, in admitting that I have dated my fair share of white men and I've dated my fair share of Black men. One thing I will have to say, and this is my own personal experience, my own personal um, feelings, that I feel that when I date a Black man, there's this kind of connection because we both are Black. And it feels like I don't have to start from the beginning of certain things, if that makes any sense, because he's already updated because he's Black also. Versus if I date a white man, it feels like I have to catch him up on things. And I mean, I could have a connection with a white man. I mean, connection is human to human, could be human to human. And sometimes it has nothing to do with color. But when it comes to romantic relation, again, I'm just talking about myself, my personal experience. It feels like with the white man, it's a different kind of, the connection is different. And according to what kind of white man it is, if he's not familiar with Black culture or being with a Black person, it's like it's always a learning experience. And sometimes I don't always want to be a teacher. And with the Black man, it's not, I'm teaching him I'm teaching him about my personality more than teaching about my culture. It's less things to teach. And at times I feel like it's just easier. And again, that's my experience. So let's see. So I'm curious to hear people's comments about this topic about Black women abandoning Black men. Um, Again, my stance is I'm in the gray area. I would not tell a Black woman who has horror stories on top of horror stories of being with Black men, to not exercise her options, but to first get my book, A White Man's Whore, so she knows both sides of the story. You know, it can be a good story, it can be a bad story. And I would never tell a Black woman to exclusively just date a Black man. I can't. And especially if she's saying that she has had horror stories, I can't. That's like me telling her, go ahead and put your hand over the fire and get burnt again, just for the sake of, I don't know. I can't do that. Um, yes, Corey. So he says, my last relationship. Let me see. Oh, let me see if I know how to use this. No. How do I do this? Oh, there we go. This is what Corey said. Corey said, my last relationship, married marriage was 29 years. I haven't dated since, probably because I found modern dating reckless. Yes. Oh God. Okay. So I need to do a whole another live about modern dating. Modern dating. I feel like, so my mom and my dad would be in their late 70s. I would love to go back in time and date how they dated. Really. Like, a man sees a woman sees a man. She plays a little hard to get. He buys her flowers. He talks to her and says, "Hey, can I meet you at this bench at 2 o'clock?" You know, they don't have cell phones. Can I meet you at 2 o'clock? And if she at this bench, and if he meets her at 2 o'clock, that means she likes him. You know, I would love that. And then you guys hold hands and maybe go to the cafe and get a what's it called, a milkshake with two straws, you know. And then time goes a little further, and you ask her dad if you can marry her. And then 2 3 kids later, you're in this house, you're at the picket fence, you know. I mean, yeah, yeah. I want to be courted. I want to be Today, I believe modern dating is so crazy because, honestly, people have so many choices, you know. Oh, I was saying, oh, you said I was born in the 70s. I mean, so yeah, so I don't know. I guess you were dating before all this technology, you know. I believe that now people have so much access, you know, with online dating, with sliding into people's DMs, that people don't take the time to really get to know people. And there's sex everywhere. And again, sex is beautiful, but I believe we're so sexually charged, and people don't really get a chance to get to know each other. You know, really get to know each other, build a friendship, or just give this person a chance. You know, it's like, it's on to the next. Let me go back to my inbox and see who I could take out next. You know, people just don't. We have too many options, and people are too quick to jump ship. And then there's some nuts out here that you should jump ship. Don't give them no more of your time. Let me see. Around hippies. Oh, he says, I grew up around hippies and went skinny dipping. Yes, I love it. Take off those clothes. Let the sun hit your body. Yes. Um, I think I'm gonna have to do a video about modern dating, because this stuff out here is crazy. I mean, again, I, I feel that people don't have the fight anymore when it comes to marriage. You know, I mean, I would never tell anybody to stay in a marriage where it's abusive, especially physically abusive. But I believe, like, my parents that were born in the 40s, they had a little more fight to them when it came to marriage. Like, no matter what, we gonna stay together, you know. But I only condone that if it's somewhat healthy. You know, I'm always an advocate for marriage counseling, you know, if the two people can't make it work. So let's see. Yeah. So I think I'm going to end this because I'm getting sleepy. It is a little past midnight where I'm at. I'm in California. And you guys subscribe, please, to my channel. Um, and I love to hear your comments about this topic about Black women, abandoning Black men. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear you for it, against it. Should Black women jump ship for self-preservation, or there's nothing that they should be worried about? I mean, I didn't even go into the lack of Black men um, out here, you know, but yeah. So thank you guys for listening, and I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook. And also, if you guys want to win a free book, you can go into my link and press the link, give me a little bit of your information, and I will see if I could. I'm going to do like a raffle or something and see who's going to get a free book. But please subscribe, like, share, leave comments, all of that wonderful stuff. All right, you guys, have a wonderful night. And thank you, Corey, for staying up with me tonight. And yeah, and chatting with me. And I hope you have a wonderful night, Corey, and everyone else that listens later on. Have a good morning, good night, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening to this. Bye-bye.